Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Like Father, Like Son. I'm Joey.
And I'm Wally.
He's the father. I'm the son. Just in case you got confused.
Sometimes I wish it would be the other way around, though. I'd kind of like to go back to the old days when I was just a kid. But
Back in the 1920s, the early days of yore.
yeah,
It was a simpler time.
it was an
back
easy
then.
time.
When you were born in, what, 1955?
55. There was a lot of things, actually, that happened in 1955.
It's true. Disneyland opened in 1955 at Anaheim.
Yep, Playboy produced their first magazine the month I was born.
Not at Disney World. Those
World.
are two different things. So, and just in case anyone's wondering, we do have a good censor behind the camera. My mother is our timekeeper and our camera person.
And she gave me the look behind it.
He will be getting in trouble at the end of this.
Guaranteed.
Don't worry, that is for sure. So I'm going to take a quick sip of my coffee. That way I can make sure that I talk through the rest of this and I don't get tongue-tied.
But you know, the good news about that, it's not like in 1955 I was actually reading the magazine. It was just one of those things. If you look up what happened in 1955...
There's lots of things that happened in 1955.
There really were. A year's worth, as a matter of fact.
Lots of interesting things.
Yes.
So going back to Disney, I see that you do have your Disney mug out, your grumpy mug.
Beneath this grumpy exterior beats the heart of a really grumpy guy. No, of a dashing hero. This was a gift from my kids to me, and I use it. Oh, from Joey. Well, he is one of my kids. We have 3 of them, by the way.
Yeah.
But he is the favorite.
Their
just
addresses
in case the other
are. I was about to get out the picture book, and this is where they live.
Oh, they're so cute.
Never do anything with your parents, by the way, on YouTube.
It's no fun.
This will come back to haunt me. But anyways, we did take a trip to Disney World. It was a lot of fun, this was back probably 4 years ago. And at the end of the trip, there was a hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane something or other.
Bad news.
That came through. And so we had to leave early. Now, from where we are down to Orlando, it's a 7-hour, 8-hour trip.
Yep, 7, 8 hours.
So we had to take a different course on the way back. Ended up taking 15 hours because we left on the same day that the rest of the state was also leaving.
Evacuated.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
It was a neat trip. We went all. I don't know where we went. We just had we had the GPS, and if you've ever just been hoping the GPS would take you someplace great, there's no guarantee. It took us 8 extra hours. But the traffic was so bad, we didn't have any choice.
The fun part, though, being Disney before we left, what's your favorite ride that you went on at Disney?
There was probably... It was the rock and roll
rock and roller coaster.
Yeah, rock and roll, and
rock and roller coaster. That
was good. And then the very first, you have to help me because my memory's bad because I'm old. The one we went to, we got halfway up the hill, and then we started going.
Oh, Expedition Everest with the Yeti and all that.
There was some good, and even for an old man, there was some, and the elevator. Which was
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. My wife loved.
Too.
I wish we had a camera on Jeannie right now.
Actually, I don't think we have the picture anymore, but I did have a picture of Mom on the Tower of Terror with her eyes closed. If I have the picture, I'm going to throw it up now. If not, then I'm sorry. You just have to imagine this. And if you've never seen my mother, just imagine a middle-aged woman in terror.
That looks like she's in her 20s.
Anyways, so that was a lot of fun. Another trip that we recently went on, where I actually got this mug, was at the Biltmore. That was actually just a trip with my wife, just us, without the kids, and that was fantastic. I loved the Biltmore. You went to the Biltmore too.
Yeah, it was. When I tell people about my favorite vacation, Jean and I have never taken a lot of vacations, but the Biltmore, for some reason, only a couple of days, she planned it. It was the best time we ever had.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a ton of fun. A lot of fun.
There's a lot of stuff to do there as well. I mean, there's the house itself that you walk through, but then there's the gardens, and there's a lot of stuff to do on the property. A lot of which I had no idea would take that long to go see. I mean, it was a lot of stuff.
We had no garden. We went in the winter.
Well, they still have the gardens there. Like, you can still walk around. It's just
there was just no flowers. There was no blooming.
Right.
She got us a nice suite, the chocolates on the bed in the morning, and then we had there's a chef that cooks your breakfast.
In the room?
In the room, yeah.
The Swedish chef from the Muppets?
But it was awkward with the chef in the room. Good morning! It's like, how do you guys like your eggs? And it's like, wow, I just didn't know what to say. But anyway, what I enjoyed, because my background's building. And I was just flabbergasted at the size of the place. And when you consider the artisans that were used.
I think it took 6 years to build it, 6 or 8 years.
And they built a railroad to come into it. It was it had to house so much stuff, and all the stonework's cut by hand. You look at all the woodwork on the inside that today is just all done by CNC machines. It's just all automated. Back then, it was done by hand. It's incredible. It is. It's a great vacation, by the way.
It was. And this is good coffee. The only bad part about this mug, you can't put it in the dishwasher. You can't microwave it. That kind of stinks. You have to hand wash it, which is a pain in the butt nowadays because everything's automated, which is great.
But it is a beautiful mug.
It is a beautiful mug. Let me tell you what I'm drinking, and this next segment, which is called Mugshots.
Mugshots.
So today I am drinking something that Dad brewed, which I don't even know, but it tastes like it's Pikes Peak. Is it Pikes Peak?
It's Starbucks, but it is espresso.
Oh,
which is a finer grind.
I'm jittery, okay.
It's a finer grind. It's a little bit more potent, stronger. It'll give you shaking the whole table. It shakes it. And I started buying it because I really like the Americana at Starbucks, and I wanted to make my own. And then we got a new coffee pot, and it just does a great job. I don't know if we're going to talk about coffee pots in this section.
Not at this point.
Okay.
But that could be something in the future. If any of you guys make coffee pots, I mean, you could throw one our way and we'll talk about it.
We would love to have you sponsor us while we talk about your coffee pot.
And, the cool part is, too, there's like 5 people that might hear about it. So that's pretty exciting.
Well, we have at least 5 in our family. So
that's like a guaranteed 5.
I'm thinking 10.
Maybe.
10 could like it. But it is great coffee, by the way.
It is, actually. It's very smooth. I drink my coffee black. And so I really taste a lot of the coffee flavor, and you oftentimes will get a lot of acidity with it as well, depending on the type of roast that it is and the type of coffee. I don't really taste a lot with this. It's nice and smooth, so good job.
And that has something to do with the coffee pot that we're not talking about in this segment. But the way it makes the coffee, I agree that it is my favorite coffee maker now. And it's a shame we're not talking about it, but we'll get it in our next video perhaps.
Because we've been drinking so much coffee, now's the perfect time for a bathroom break and a word from our sponsors. So roll that beautiful bean footage. I hope I'm allowed to say that. Hi there. Are you one of the thousands of men dealing with balding? You've tried hundreds of solutions and none of them seem to work. Hats, toupees, creams, wraps can all be expensive and a waste of time. Instead of fighting this natural process, it's time to embrace it with Baldmoji. Baldmoji is an interchangeable emoji made for your head. Choose from hundreds of designs specifically made for your bald spot. Baldmoji will allow your bald spot to make a statement, even when you don't feel like it.
Now that my husband uses Baldmoji, his confidence has really improved, and I feel like I'm always being heard.
Call today to get your starter pack of emojis. Call within the next 30 minutes and we'll throw in the poop emoji for free. That's right, your starter pack of emojis plus the poop emoji for free. And you can trust me, I'm not just some paid actor, I'm a customer. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little word from our sponsors. If any of you would like to sponsor us, we'd gladly accept it.
We'd love it.
We're pretty desperate.
Absolutely.
And remember, there's at least 5 people that will watch this twice to make a total of 10 views.
You can't beat that for a starting off sponsor. I mean, what do you want?
I mean, they have to watch it. They're our family. Yeah. So it's guaranteed views. I don't know how many times I watch YouTube and click to go past the ad. So it's a lot more fun if you know somebody has to watch it.
And when we make your ad, they will stay the entire time. We guarantee it. Well, we can't really guarantee it, but
well, I mean, Baldmoji, they're excited about it.
They're sponsoring us,
so we know that there's probably even a couple sales with that. So speaking of money, let's talk about some trivia here. So
money would be trivial.
At
least in this house.
Well, trivia, though, not trivial. So today is Valentine's Day. This is going to obviously be coming out well after Valentine's Day, but just so you guys can look back on this and try to guess at how well Dad did with his Valentine's Day, we're going to play a little game of trivia. So most of these questions have something to do with like Valentine's Day-esque or like getting ready for Valentine's Day. I answered them too, and part of the whole idea of father like son is that we're going to see how alike we are, and we'll compare our answers at the end. Here's some paper for you, Dad.
All right, you're gonna help me print on it?
You're gonna write your own answers.
It's not lined or anything. How am I supposed to?
You just write it like a card. And then you're gonna hold it up like, here's my answer.
This looks like a mugshot.
We already did that part. Mugshots. Okay, so first question here. So, not moms, but what is, just in general, the most, and write it big enough for when you turn it to the camera that they'll see it, the most popular ice cream flavor? Don't tell us your answer yet, but write
Moms?
it. No, not moms. Just in general. What is considered the most popular ice cream flavor? Write it big across the whole page. You got multiple pages there for this.
I can't spell it. That's all right. It's not close. We can pronounce it right.
Next is going to be, and you guys play along at home too. Don't skip ahead and find out what the answers are. What is the most valuable fashion brand? So when you think about fashion, you have to think about like whether it's Levi or Hermes, Gucci, Nike. That doesn't really fit in there.
Well, if they could see my wardrobe, they know that my favorite is
George
Walmart.
From Walmart. According to Reader's Digest, this is the most popular food according to a 2021 Harris poll. Okay, according to Ranker.com, this is the greatest chick flick ever made. The greatest chick flick ever made. And that's how they phrased it too. Chick flick. Nothing wrong with a good chick flick, but this is the greatest one. You know, this one was not number one, but here's a little hint for you. All the way down at the bottom was Mrs. Doubtfire, which I never would have guessed.
That was a chick flick?
That's what they said.
That doesn't make... I got an idea.
That's good.
But I don't know the right title, so I'm going to write enough of the title.
That's good.
So you'll know what I meant.
We'll get the general idea from that. Okay, according to a 2019 Forbes article, what was the most popular U.S. location for women to travel? This would have been pre-COVID. So, 2019 Forbes article, the most popular U.S. location for women to travel. And worldwide. That's the second part. Like the bonus one is what's the most popular worldwide? The very first question, what was the most popular ice cream? Dad, you guessed?
Vanilla bean.
I guess vanilla, and the answer is vanilla.
Vanilla.
Well, we accept vanilla bean. Is that okay? All right, Mom's the aficionado here.
Sounds good.
All right, most valuable fashion brand.
I guarantee you I did not get this.
And I did not get this one either. You guessed Gucci, which was closer, I guess, Levi's, like the jeans. That's the only thing I could think of.
Walmart.
The most valuable, not Gucci. Gucci's not Walmart.
No, I know.
Oh, okay, good. Most valuable fashion brand is actually Nike, as shown by FashionUnited.com. Wow. Nike is the most valuable.
Just do it. Now, Nike, if you're watching,
he just did it.
A great opportunity. Just do it.
All right, so according to Reader's Digest, the most popular food according to that 2021 Harris poll is mac and cheese. Not bad. Pizza. Now, actually, in all fairness, there was a couple of different sites. One did say not mac and cheese, that was number 2, but one said mashed potatoes. But the actual Harris poll said it was pizza. So that puts me one ahead, Dad.
And in all fairness now, Gene and I are on a new keto type of diet where we're eating basically rabbit food. And
but the question wasn't what is the best rabbit food.
What I'm saying
diet.
is that we're not out there delving into all of these unhealthy meals anymore.
You've forgotten what pizza is?
I could barely remember it. It's just like years ago. Actually,
next question. According to Ranker.com, this is the greatest chick flick ever made.
All right, I couldn't remember.
Sleepless in Seattle. Okay, and I guessed The Notebook.
And I couldn't remember the title. I was going to guess.
Sleepless in Seattle was actually on many sites considered one of the greatest. However, according to Ranker.com, 10 Things I Hate About You is considered the greatest chick flick of all time. Sleepless in Seattle was on there as well. So was The Notebook.
So for a 67-year-old man, I didn't do bad.
That wasn't bad. I'm proud of that. Okay. According to a 2019 Forbes article, what was the most popular U.S. location for women to travel?
I'm sure I got this wrong.
Manhattan. I guessed Nashville. We were both wrong. Los Angeles, California.
What, to
LA.
go see the homeless?
This is 2019. It was a couple years ago.
There were no homeless in LA.
A lot has happened in the last few years. And worldwide. Paris. I also guessed Paris, and the answer is Paris.
We know what we're doing here.
So,
like father,
like son. At least you know that you can take mom to Paris for some pizza and some vanilla ice cream and get her some Gucci. She'd be a lot happier with Gucci than with Levi's. So that was good. I'm proud of that. However, I did come out one ahead of that, so
I lost this round.
That's okay, though. Only by one. I did terribly. I didn't get.
You can take it out of the proceeds of this first YouTube check that we're going to be splitting.
All right, that works. So that's what we'll do. Baldmoji, you can just go ahead and make my half bigger than his, not half, but part. So, anyways, so in closing today, because we've talked about a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of fun today. But before we go, since we're on the subject of movies, now you grew up, as we said, in 1955. So
I was born then.
Right. You were born in 1955. Grew up through the 60s and 70s. During that time, what would you say would have been, in your opinion, not the great masses, the greatest movie of all time?
And that's interesting because I was probably not a movie watcher back then. And so I can't even remember the oldest movies I can even remember watching. And my brain is clouded by adverse things that I were doing back then. But I don't know when Star Wars started.
Yep, I would actually have guessed, at least in the 70s. That would have been the 70s.
I was a big fan. Now, not a big fan like I had clothing and ran around without... But I love that stuff. Just like today, I love what?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Which actually, I would say now, in today's world, now there's a lot of like Marvel movies and stuff that have come out, but I think it still holds that Lord of the Rings is the greatest movie that has been made in our time.
I would say yes.
Now, I'm starting to get older to that point where I'm out of the our time, and there's a younger generation that's coming up that may pick something else, but Lord of the Rings is
that's because they're
fantastic.
Foolish. Lord of the Rings is absolutely.
All right, so what about television, TV shows?
We Gene and I grew up in the same time. We would come home from school and watch the Flintstones. I can remember Rocky and Bullwinkle, which most people can't remember. Flintstones, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver. Okay. My Three Sons. Not as much. I mean, I don't want to get into a depressing reliving of my family background, but we didn't have the My Three Sons family.
So it was nice to see a family that did.
It would have been
I'd like to aspire to that one day.
But we watched the cartoons, and I watched Bewitched. Dick Van Dyke.
I don't need all of the list.
You got me on a roll. It's all coming back to me like a bad nightmare.
So I'll make my list short then. I would have to say The Office holds as my favorite as a teenager. Now, as a kid, there was, I was part of the SpongeBob generation, which has now spanned a couple of generations because they're still making them. But back when SpongeBob first came out, that was kind of my time with that. But Power Rangers, when I was a kid, I grew up on Power Rangers and Walker, Texas Ranger. And those two are...
I remember Walker, Texas Stranger,
which is why I'm now such a karate guy. Really, you don't want to mess with these fists of fury.
He made quite a stir in his time.
He did. Thanks. Okay, well, folks, on that, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us for all of these fun and exciting episodes. We are going to be back with more tomorrow, so make sure you check us out then. We're going to be having all types of fun. Let us know something that you would like for us to talk about. We may do it, we may not. But since there's so few of you watching right now, there's a really good chance we'll actually do it.
That's a fact.
Thank you so much. Make sure... Oh, by the way, big shout out to Baldmoji for sponsoring this video.
And don't forget, you could be one too.
Exactly. So jump on it while you can. Thanks so much. Have a great day. This is Like Father, Like Son.
What's bean footage?
Will you pay us?
You're doing stuff, and I don't know what you're trying to tell me. You had your hand on the side of your head.
We went with this at one point.
Oh.
I thought you were telling us go longer.
You don't need me.
We do.
Yes,
need
we
you.
do. This is a family friggin' event.